Hello, this is James, and I've worked on Wall Street for over 30 years. And so today I just wanted to review a wealth report released by UBS. They release one every year, and I personally been studying them each year when released. I would say since 2011, I've looked at every one. It's about usually it's about 50 pages or so. To me, it's one of the most in-depth reviews on wealth for the world and also for the United States. The only report I find more detailed is the survey of consumer finance that's released by the Federal Reserve Board every 3 years. Interestingly enough, the next one of that should be released toward the end of 2026. And so I would say that the 2026 version of the UBS report, like I said, was just released this week. I've already spent hours dissecting it, and hopefully this will save you time if you're interested in wealth studies. I'll give a brief overview of it, and this way you won't have to go through that report. So I would say I'm going to go over the three key facts the report has come up with. These are ones I found most interesting. Of course, there's so much information in this report, so certainly you can pull it up yourself. It's free. It's on Google. That's the best part. And you just hit up UBS Wealth Report, and you'll see the 2026 version. You can also pull up the older ones just to see. One thing I will say is that what they stopped doing is, which I really liked prior, was they used to give the levels, like the median wealth for the world per adult, and then they would do the top 10%, the 1%, and so forth. So they did. They no longer do that, but the report is still very, very good. So I would say, let's go through those three key facts. Like I said, the first is growth in wealth from 2024 to 2025. So in North America, it was up about 8.8%. Overall, the world wealth grew at 10.8%. So slightly a little bit below. Now, Asia was much lower, and some of the smaller countries like Eastern Europe had growth in wealth really, almost over 20% in some cases. Would you say your net worth has kept up from 2024 to 2025? So typically, personally, I try to, my goal is always 10% year to year growth, but easier said than done. So the second key fact that I found very interesting was that the number of US dollar millionaires was 23,600,000 plus in the United States. Now, this is the most of any country by a huge margin. I think China was second, and we were probably, I think they were in the neighborhood of under 6 million. So at least we were at least we had at least four times more with a much less population. Now, this grew at 1.9% from 2024 to 2025. The world rate was 1.5%, so we did grow substantially more than the world. And also, what's interesting is over 40% of the world's millionaires live in the United States. Now, bear in mind, UBS goes by adults, not households. So this would mean about 8.6% of US adults are millionaires. Now, I would say to me, that seems accurate, just because that pretty much matches the SCF report, the Survey of Consumer Finance that I mentioned earlier. And the third fact, and I found this very interesting, and was that they calculated the average net worth per adult, and that was just shy of $700,000. Now, however, the median net worth, and this is probably a more accurate reflection since it's the middle, was only $68,998 for 2025 per U.S. adult. Now, what was interesting is the report stated this was a 20% drop from the pandemic level of 2020. So over the last 5 years, that median net worth has dropped by 20%. So obviously this means to me the upper class did really well. And, obviously, and I think that obviously has to do with, as we've seen, the growth in the stock market since, the majority of equities are held by, the top 10%. Obviously what this means is the upper class did really well and the middle and lower, not so much, down 20%. Now this is inflation adjusted, but, still real terms, 20%, that's, a drop of 20%. And this just reflects what we've seen, which is what everyone's called the K economy. Let me know what you think.